In this video, I'm going to talk about the concept of complementary pairs in relationships and how this either hurts or helps your love life. My name is Stefan Gonick. I'm an expert EFT practitioner and founder of the Soulmate Attraction Academy from singletosoulmate.me, and this is Love Talk Q&A. So what is a complementary pair for relationships? So the idea here is that most of the time we attract to us, the partner that we attract to us is a complement to some characteristic or characteristics that we have as part of who we are. Okay, so an example is going to make this easier. So I'm going to start with a negative example. Let's say I'm someone who tends to feel kind of one down or sort of weak in a relationship, kind of submissive, and I view my, the people I'm with as me as being kind of less than my partner, and I have a hard time saying no. Then the complement to that is someone who likes to be one up, right? If I feel one down, they like to be one up, and they like to be dominant in the relationship. That's my complementary pair. Or another example is if I'm really good at giving and I have a really hard time receiving, then the complement to that is going to be somebody who's really good at receiving and not good at giving, right? Which we call a taker, right? So if I'm a good giver, bad receiver, I'm going to naturally attract my complement, which is somebody who likes taking and not giving, right? This is a complementary pair. Now, on the other hand, if I am someone who feels very strong and equal in my relationships, and I'm wanting and I expect equality, then my complementary pair in this case is actually going to be someone who matches, right? The complement in this case is a matching thing. They'll be the same. And same with other kinds of things. As if I like equal amounts of giving and receiving, and I'm good at both, again, I'm going to attract somebody who is, again, the same. For positive traits, these are usually, the complement is usually a match. For the more negative situations, it's usually the opposite negative, right? And if you think about this, it makes a lot of sense because it really couldn't be any other way, right? Let's say, I tend to feel kind of weak and submissive in a relationship. And ideally what I would like, let's say I'm a woman, and ideally what I would like is a man who wants to be equal. Well, if I view myself as one down and he wants to be equal, then he's not going to find me appealing because I'm not where he is at, right? But what will, the kind of man who will find me appealing, unfortunately, is somebody who likes to be dominant because they will feel subconsciously that I view myself as one down, right? And that I'm on the submissive side. So he'll be drawn to that very naturally. Same with that giving-taking thing. If I'm really good at giving and really poor, have a hard time receiving, then the other person who likes to takes to receive, will be drawn to that. But if I'm expecting equal amounts of giving and taking, then somebody who's a taker and not a giver will immediately feel uncomfortable in that situation because he would feel my expectation of him giving to me too. And it becomes this mismatch. So basically you're matching with your partner one way or the other. You're either matching as complements or you're matching equally, right? So if you've noticed in your life that you tend to be in this sort of negative complementary pair kind of situation with people, then the question becomes like, how do we get out of that? Because it's not a happy thing, right? So there's two ways to do it. One way that's, one way that's it's with willpower, and one way that is we're using healing. So the willpower way is to become very aware of this. So let's say, again, I have a hard time receiving, I give, and I tend to attract takers. Well, I can go, okay, I'm going to be on the lookout for that, and I'm going to try and kind of be vigilant and see, okay, is this guy a taker or is he more into giving and receiving, right? Now, I'm going to need to do my part, though, which means I'm going to need to be able to receive, which might mean not just passively receiving when he takes the initiates giving to me. I mean, that alone is part of it. If he gives and I can't receive it, then that's a message right there, right? And, in the very beginning, a taker will tend to give more because he's trying to connect. And if you have a hard time receiving it, it's like, aha, there we go, right? This is, I'm a taker, and this is a good situation. She's not really receiving anything I'm offering, but she's really giving me a lot. So great, this is a good situation for me. So you're going to have to do your part, which is to ask for things, right? So if this is what your pattern is. So you have to be on the lookout for somebody who seems to give and receive equally, and you have to be willing to ask to receive something. Okay, now and so you can do this for any one of these complementary pair situations. Now that can be a little tricky. That may work. Sometimes people achieve it just by kind of using their willpower and their consciousness. The other way to do it, which I think is challenging initially, but much easier in the long run, is to heal whatever caused you to have this sort of negative pattern, right? So if I am somebody, again, with that giving receiving thing, it's easy for me to give, hard for me to receive. I wasn't born that way. Little kids receive just great. They're great receivers, right? So what we need to do, or what you need to do, is look at, okay, what kind of experiences did I have as a child that taught me that it wasn't okay to receive? That sort of trained me to become a giver and not receiver, right? Because I guarantee you that's what happened, right? You weren't born this way. So if you identify those original causative memories or experiences and heal them, then that's going to take care of the issue for you. You will no longer be a giver who has a hard time to receive. You'll be able to do both. You're certainly not going to lose the ability to give, but you'll have a much easier time receiving. And then you will naturally attract somebody who's also a mutual 50-50 giver-receiver, because you'll now that's your new complementary pair match. Okay. Same with the one, if I tend to feel one down or submissive or kind of weak in my relationships, there had to have been something in childhood that made you feel that way. So you just identify what caused this in your childhood. You heal it with like EFT. It doesn't have to be EFT, but it's the fastest method I've ever come across. And once you do that, again, instead of feeling one down, you will just, once you finish the healing, you will naturally feel equal. And if you feel equal with other people, then you will attract somebody who also wants equality, a mutual give and take, equal relationship where nobody has power over the other, nobody's in control. So you can address all of these complementary pair things. But it's really helpful to become aware of this phenomenon, because we are always finding our match. It's just that it's not always a happy match. So if you want help identifying what these root cause experiences were that may have created these negative complementary pair matches for you, I have this free mini course on my website called The 3 Secrets to Attracting Amazing Love. And I know that the title doesn't quite sound like it's going to do what I'm saying, but it actually does. Some of the things that I talk about in there will help you identify what caused you to have these negative complementary pair attractions. So it's free. I encourage you to sign up for it at singletosoulmate.me. If you'd like help with this, you're welcome to contact me through that website at singletosoulmate.me, and I'd be happy to talk to you about how we could work through it together if you'd like that. So if you found this video helpful, it would help me and other people to find the video on YouTube if you would click on the like button. And my message for you is that no matter how long you've been looking to find your soulmate, love is possible for you. I can show you how. And see you on the next episode of Love Talk Q&A.